And so that, again, I'm Xavier Toson, Chairman for the African American Chamber of Commerce. Thanks to Stephanie and Erica, fellow board of directors here this evening joining. If you have some friends that should be here, they're in the chamber and in business, make sure you let them know that the meeting is happening right now so that they can join in and contribute to the discussion. But we'll go ahead and get started. This is June. All right, so first I want to kick it off and welcome everybody again. This is the African American Chamber of Commerce, or you may hear us by the AACCSA, and we're committed to providing dynamic leadership and advocacy for your businesses, but overall to increase the prosperity for our community. And so throughout through the identification of resources, we help to also create initiatives, establish educational opportunities via like our lunch and learns that Erica spearheads each month. And also providing opportunities for Black enterprises to thrive, not only in San Antonio, but we do this around the state. And also we inspire people beyond the state of Texas. So good things are happening. You probably have seen our slogan. We want to show this to you every membership meeting because we believe it. We want you to believe it. We're stronger together. Despite the noise, despite things you may hear, our community is thriving. We're stronger than we've ever been. We just need to get a little bit more focused, but we are stronger together, and collectively we can make some great things happen. So our membership ethos is every business works together to achieve relationships that will promote empowerment to help thrive in today's business marketplace. And let's take the next steps and work together. So find your tribe. Let's do it. This is a 30-second roundtable introductions. This gives every member on the call tonight an opportunity to introduce themselves, their businesses, or things that they want us to know about them. But this also helps you perfect your pitch. And they call it a 30-second elevator pitch for a reason. Because by the time you walk into a place with an elevator, you need 30 seconds to tell somebody about who you are or your business and maybe make a long-term connection. So without further ado, anybody who wants to kick it off? If not, I will ask some people to introduce themselves. Hi, Toby, you're on mute. There you go. Yes, let's do it.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Toby Barker Williams, and I am the president and CEO of Eyes on Security LLC here in San Antonio, Texas. My firm is a cybersecurity consulting firm, and I provide cybersecurity services in the areas of cybersecurity training, project management, security system and security administration, as well as GRC advising and threat detection and analysis. I'm happy to be here. If you need someone to partner with on cybersecurity initiatives, please reach out. I'm currently working on some major deals, so I'll probably need some bodies here soon, people looking for employment. So I'll just partner with me, reach out to me, and we will see what we can do together. Thank you.
Absolutely love that, Toby, and I may have a contact for you. Thank you for introducing. Who's next? Don't be shy. I'm gonna have to call on somebody. Okay. I see Sterling starting up. Hey, Sterling, look like you ready, man.
Oh, Sterling's ready. Okay, I'll pause.
Oh no, Earth Mother, I saw you. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, greetings, everyone. I am Yolanda Brooks, and I am the owner and founder of Earth Mother Healing, which is a holistic wellness enterprise that is focused on the total well-being of people of African ancestry. And that is through a number of services that we provide to include naturopathic Reiki, holistic doula support, our Stepping into Womanhood guidance and support program, as well as a host of workshops, getaways, and classes. And so I welcome you if you are on a healing journey. If you are experiencing any kind of physical pain or emotional pain, I welcome you to come and sit with me and just kind of talk things out. Even if you're just kind of looking down the road and trying to figure what does down the road look like for you. I am a community certified life guide, a African-centered life guide, and a Reiki practitioner and holistic doula. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'll let y'all know I can attest to Yolanda's services. I find it necessary in this path, in this journey of life. It's been a godsend for me. And so I'm so thankful. Thank you so much Yolanda, for everything you do. All right, Sterling,
Thank you.
you ready?
Yes, sir. My name is Sterling Alexander. I own IC Clearview Services, which we are a residential commercial window cleaning pressure washing company. So anything fully exterior, we clean, from the roof to houses to pool decks to windows to driveways. We also do residential commercial. We've been in business since 2008. My second company I own is a newly launched software company called iPlan, where users can go online to create their wills and trust online. So we launched June 1st, and so we're looking to promote the company and put wheels in everybody's hands.
Absolutely. Look here, we need that, most definitely. So I'll be reaching out to you as well, and also plan of attack on how we can help spread that information. Perhaps even write an article and put it out on the Chamber's website as well. And that goes for any of you all. We can definitely write an article based on your business to get the word out about what you got to offer and the incentive, or what's the value add for folks who want to procure your services. All right, who's next? I know Brunch Boss is at a meeting right now. Jay, we're just introducing ourselves and our businesses. Stephanie, Cheryl, there you go. Let's do it.
Okay, well, I can't seem to start my video, but I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, my name is, I'm a dentist. So my name is Dr. Cheryl Davis, and I have a dental office downtown in Ellis Alley, a historical Black business district. It's 210 Chestnut. It's a little pink house. So as a family dentist, I treat people ranging from ages 6 years old to probably 95 years old. And that ranges from fillings, cleanings, dentures, partials, teeth whitening. I restore implants. I'd love to have your business. Just come down and see what we can do for you dental wise. And also we can talk about the history of Ellis Alley. Thank you very much.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you for joining us. I think that's amazing. And so feel free, everyone, place your information in the chat so folks can jot it down if they're interested in networking with you. And who's next?
Xavier, while you're waiting, I'd like to say that Dr. Cheryl Davis has been my dentist for a number of years, and she is fabulosa.
I love it. I love it. Dr. Davis, I might need to go find out where you are and then switch over. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Ilana, for that vouching credit there. That's awesome. All right, who wants to go next? And then we'll head over to our welcome. Hey, Kim.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I am Kimberly Williams with Gateway to Pearls Debutante Program in Ball. We service high school juniors and seniors and college students in presenting them to community and society. And we are actively enrolling students right now for our fall court. And so we're always looking for sponsorships. We're always looking for people to come out, mentor. We do a program side of the house, and so we're always looking for professionals to come and speak with our children in regards to their profession. Of course, we have juniors, seniors in high school and college students. Some know who and what they want to become, others don't. So giving them one-on-one time with the professionals, help them to decide on their career paths. And so we're open to networking and working with the professionals to speak with our children. And so again, actively enrolling students for the fall. So if you know children in the age group, seniors and juniors in high school, college students, please send them our way to become debutantes. And we always need escorts. And so we're constantly looking for young men to escort our debs. So if you have children in mind, please send them our way. Thank you.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Kim. Had a chance, I believe, to meet you all at our Big Business Mixer in January.
That's correct.
Awesome. And we have two schools, maybe funnel systems for your program. We have Essence Preparatory Charter School, which Jay Rick's on the call tonight. She's the principal for. And then we have San Antonio Preparatory Charter School, which is off of FM 78. They're two Black schools, Black and brown schools predominantly, that may be filter funnel systems for you. So we'll connect the dots, okay?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Go do one more round. If not, we'll go ahead and proceed with the next parts of our meeting. I just want to give everyone an opportunity to talk about their business and who they are. Going once, going twice. All right. Well, next up, we want to welcome our newest members. These are members that have joined since the last time we met, which was last month. We do want to welcome Hancock Whitney Bank. They're a new corporate sponsor of our chamber. They believe in our mission and what we're doing, and they want to meet you, greet you, and offer up their services. Next, we also have Best Option Restoration. We have Anise Aesthetics, Med Spa, and IV Hydration Lounge. They're out near in Cibolo, near 1911 Cigar Bar. And then we have Merit Orthodontics as well. So thank you and welcome them. Make sure you check them out and support them when you get a chance. Thank you. Again, we have a few corporate sponsors. These guys, they believe in our mission, what we have going on. They believe in you. They want to network with you. They want to connect with you. And they hopefully, I'm sure they will want you to procure some of their services as well. But they understand that our first priority is to support you. And so they wanted to support us financially and monetarily so we can continue to do just that. So first we have Port San Antonio. I don't know if you guys have been out there. It's one of the largest areas in South Texas that's dedicated to technology, innovation, etc. There's over 1,900 acres of platform right there in Southwest near Kelly Air Force Base. There's aerospace, defense, global logistics, manufacturing, cybersecurity, and education. You got companies like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, the DeLorean, the Back to the Future car makers. They're out there. Lots of great tenants, over 80 of them. There's a lot of people you can do business with. No matter what your industry is, the government buys it. And so they're going to be hosting, they host a lot of tenants that can procure your services. So it's important to get to know Port San Antonio. I said Hancock Whitney, Chase for Business. They've been right here with us, supporting us before they even became corporate partners with Black Excellence Night that we do in conjunction with that committee out of Dallas. And then, of course, Univision. Univision's here to help you put your information out on the radio. They have 98.5 The Beat, they have 107.5 The Vibe, and so many other stations that can help you reach your target audience. So definitely check all of these corporate sponsors out. And they support us, we support them. That's how it rolls. All right, I'll be remiss if I say we didn't need you. We probably need you more than you need us. But we're gonna try to do our best to give you what you need. But in return, if you can volunteer and support the chamber, we got a few great committees, as you can see listed here, with our strategic, governance, foundation, membership, and the subcommittees that fall up under each one. And then we have our fundraising and events committee, procurement, business development, and public policy. How this rolls out is that each director on the board, it has a strategic lens. They are in charge of each committee. And so they're also responsible for recruiting and supporting the chamber by way of volunteers such as yourselves or members of the community that want to get involved and support the chamber as well. And so these are our areas of responsibilities to help maximize what the chamber can do for you and our community, and where we only can do it together. And so it's important that we all can find at least a little bit of time to contribute something. I think it'll be great. And I'm pretty sure that the directors on the board will value your input and contribution to help this thing grow. We're not a chamber for everybody, but we do want to do the things that we do very well. All right, and we can do it with you. If you haven't heard, our Big Business Mixer is back on Friday, this Friday, June 23rd from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We'll be at the Eye of the Beholder Art Gallery. Maria Williams is the curator over at the Eye of the Beholder, an amazing Black-owned art gallery off 1917 North New Braunfels Avenue. You will, if you haven't been there, you don't want to miss it. It's an amazing deal. When we re-kicked off our chamber, I can't even remember the year, I think 2020, 2021, when we relaunched after COVID, we held our first mixer at this place. And so it's only right that we come back to this place to have our second Big Business Mixer of the year. So if you can, please come out, join us. It's $10 for members, $20 for non-members. There will be food, there will be music, and there will be some giveaways. Tell a friend and tell a friend. All right. Erica's on the call, but she wanted me to tell you about how many experts we need. We need you and all of the potential topics that we should cover to offer up value to our members. You can see everything from business plans to finance, insurance, disaster recovery, cybersecurity, Dr. Barker Williams, marketing, branding, etc. You are the experts in your field. Your business offers these services all the time. And so we want you to come in and tell our members all about it, educate them on it, and potentially make some new customers. This is a great way to get in front of your audience. Usually there's maybe about 20 people there. So you have some students that you can collaborate with and take notes and share notes, all that good stuff. But if you are an expert, reach out to Erica. Her email is listed here, or send her a chat. She's on here right now, Erica Shepard. But we're looking for experts in our community. And then if we can't get anybody in our community, we'll just go out and get it and bring it back to you. So, but we want to start here first. All right. Any questions before we get into tonight's topic? I want to talk about this book that I've read. It's called Profit First. But any other questions before we kick this thing off? All right. Who's all read The Profit First or heard of this book before? I see Erica nodding her head. I think this book is a game changer. It's called A Profit First. Like I said, the idea is that it wants to transform your business from a cash-eating monster to a money-making machine. And how it does that is it basically wants you to pay yourself first and then let the remainder of your cash flow determine how you should spend on your operating expenses. And so I just wanted to do a book review, recap-ish type of deal, just to kind of give you guys information about the book. One, I'm not making any money from it, but I found it valuable for me, my business, even personal life. I follow Dave Ramsey. So on the business side, I'll be honest, on the personal side, Dave Ramsey is my guy. But on the business side, I really didn't have that financial guru that gave me a system or methodology to follow. So when I read this book, my wife actually introduced me to this book. When I read the book, I found it, I said, man, if only 10 years ago I had access to this information, I could have avoided a lot of missteps that I had. But, you know, experience is the best teacher. Like I said, this book is rooted in the concept. Well, let me go back. The book is rooted in the concept of this thing called Parkinson's Law. And basically says that, you know, if you give yourself a week to do something, you're going to take a week to do it. All right. Even if it only took you an hour to complete it. If you give yourself a week to do something that only takes an hour, you'll feel that entire time. And it basically, and like I said, that's called Parkinson's Law, but the same formula applies to your finances. If you say it's going to take $200 to do something, you're going to spend probably the entire $200. But the Profit First scales everything down to say, okay, this is exactly how much this should be. This is exactly how much I should allocate in my finances to do X, Y, and Z. And we'll get into that. And feel free to unmute, ask questions that I may know. If I don't know, I'll try to get you the answer back. But that's what this book follows. And so again, the same is true for your profit and your expenses. So the old formula in business talks about how, you know, your revenue minus expenses equals your profit. All right. So you'll get income in, you'll, you know, draw out your expenses, but the next thing is your overall profit, right? But in the Profit First, it looks like revenue minus profit equals expenses. So you bring income into the business first, and then you take away any profit that you have, and then you pay out your debts and expenses. So it's a unique way to go about managing the profit or the allocations in your business. Again, the old formula looks just in a P&L statement, revenue minus expenses equals profit. But in the Profit First, it looks like revenue minus profit equals expenses. And here's an image that kind of shows the entire system as an example. So let's just take this first area here. This is the total profit. This is the total revenue that came in. This is the gross revenue that came in, $10,372. Then you take a percentage, right? And you put it into different allocations within your bank account, right? So you get the total revenue that comes in, and then the first tier is the profit. You take the profit out at a certain percentage. Then you take your owner's pay at a certain percentage. You put a bucket of taxes there as well. And then in the end, you cover your expenses, all right? And so this is a nice little chart. Feel free to screenshot this. but I did find this online. I thought it would be helpful to show some numbers. Okay. So again, what the profit first method shows us is that you want to have a bank account, and in your bank account, if your bank allows this to happen, is you want to create a couple tiers within your checking account, or at least set up 4 or 5 different checking accounts. One for your revenue stream, one for your profit percentage, your owner's pay percentage, taxes, and operating expenses. So you will have 5 bank accounts that when money comes in, the money goes into one income account, and then you distribute via a percentage-based method out to your profit, your owner's pay, your taxes, and your operating expenses. And this provides a clear-cut way to make sure that you are paying your taxes on time, right? We hear a lot of times that folks get in trouble with taxes. They don't pay their sales tax, they don't pay their federal tax, et cetera, because they haven't thought about the big picture. Once I get paid, oh, I owe someone else. They just see expenses. And sometimes the expenses get ahead of us, right? If we owe somebody, if we owe a bank a loan, some money back on a loan, 9 times out of 10 we get paid. Following the formula, profit minus expenses, we didn't pay the expenses, but we done forgot completely about taxes. And that can get us in trouble along the way. Another thing that happens in our businesses, especially as Black-owned businesses, is that we don't pay ourselves. So we get paid all of this money that comes in, but we take care of everybody else, and we don't take care of ourselves. With this method, you're making sure that you're getting your profit out, your owner's pay, and you're making sure your taxes are coming out, and then you're paying your expenses. So I just want to make sure that folks have this picture in their mind. You can go back, check out the book to get a little bit more detail. But this is the example right now. Any questions in regards to this chart, this method? Anybody used this method before or something similar? And some of you might just be blown away like I was blown away when I first saw it. So I understand that. All right. So let's talk bank account allocation. So in this book, the author talks about setting up multiple bank accounts, like I said before, right? Your profit, your owner's pay, your taxes, operating expenses. This system is like using the envelope system for personal budgeting. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, right? You get paid, you put money in different envelopes so that you don't blow past that money. You know how much is going towards groceries, you know how much is going towards, utilities, etc. This is the same concept, except you're not taking any cash out, you're just creating accounts to be able to pay out in those different lanes. So for example, if your business earns $1,000, rather than spending the money and hoping some is left over for your profit, you as an owner, you would immediately allocate a predetermined percentage, maybe 10%, to a separate profit bank account. And that's just an example. Another tip that the book offers up is called sequential disbursements. Basically, it says that when the funds come into the business, they are distributed into a different bank account in a specific sequence. And so this helps to ensure that the business is saving for profit, those taxes again, and then compensating the owner properly. So it's a sequential effect that happens. Once you get paid, you dump it into the first bucket, and then the second, third, and fourth. Another tip they talk about is tackling debt. Yes, Dr. Musa.
All right, hey, thanks for taking the question. So I'm listening to this and maybe I'm not fundamentally grasping this. For example, you start a business, for example, I recently started a practice and there's a lot of expenses and debt that's involved. So even though I have cash flow and bringing money in, I'm still very negative. So I don't understand this concept of, all right, ignore all the bills. You already set your overhead by establishing your practice. So ignore all that, pay yourself first, and then start getting deeper in debt based on interest, based on loans. I don't understand the logic of it.
Exactly, and it's the same way for me, right? And so one part of it is if you start a business and it immediately goes into the red, which a lot of businesses do, this formula probably is going to work once you get towards the black, right? Because you have some predetermined set expenses that are going into, I guess, the startup cost of your business that you want to kind of get towards the black. However, if there's some areas of your business that are more fixed and variable, you want to make sure you cover, like, and I'm saying loans, right? So if there's a loan amount that you've already got and you have to pay that amount, it is what it is. You have to pay that amount regardless because that's your obligation. However, if there's some variable expenses, then you want to make sure that they're following this method. So if you get paid, then it's going to the profit, the owners pay the taxes, and then of course the operating expenses, which covers the debt. And so that's my takeaway from reading this book, is that this is not for the companies that come in and they have a certain amount of overhead, but they can close that gap really quickly. This is probably for those who have gotten in and they're just getting started, but their overhead is not that much up front. But I can grab some more research for you, Dr. Musa, and get that to you in regards to your particular situation as well. I think that's a good
Appreciate it.
Indeed. Any other questions? Hey, Dr. J.
It's not really a question, but it's more clarification, like because I haven't read the book yet, but I am going to buy it. But I just want to clarify to see if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. So when it comes to profit first, if I'm thinking of this the right way, you want to account for the profit first. So meaning that you're setting aside a predetermined percentage of every sale that you make as profit before you pay any kind of expenses. Then you create the separate bank accounts for specific purposes that will allow you to help track your finances and then make sure that your profit's not being used to pay for those expenses. But then you also want to make sure that you're setting targeted allocation percentages that will determine how much money is allocated to each one of those bank accounts. And then you want to make sure, of course, obviously, that you're monitoring that regularly to make sure that you're tracking that progress. Is that correct?
That's exactly it. I would just make one minor correction up front. That first account is going to be that revenue account, that total income account. So that's where money will come in the first. And then you would have your predetermined. So if you know your forecast for for the year, you already know how much you're projected to bring in, how much you should be bringing in, percentage for each account. And you can set that up on automatic distribution into those accounts. And say, for instance, in Dr. Musa's example, where he has upfront costs, maybe his percentage, that's why I'm not giving a particular percentage for it, because every business is different, but maybe his percentage for debt is a little higher. So then he knows how much is supposed to go to those subsequent accounts that we set up. But you're right. You're right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then another tip he talks about is tackling debt. So again, Dr. Musa, yours might be a little different, but again, we'll find out more. And what I'll do is, this is just a highlight. I'll probably bring in a profit first expert, because they do have those guys around, and then we'll bring them back as an actual person that can really talk and dig a little bit deeper on it. But when they talk about tackling debt, they talked about, basically suggesting that after allocating your money for profit, your taxes and your owners pay, the remaining money should be used to pay down debt and cover expenses. This intention is to gradually reduce the debt while still ensuring that the business is profitable. But if you have prior obligations, my interpretation in the book is that you want to cover your obligations because you don't want to go into default or mess up other things in your business. But you definitely want to make sure that you cover your profit, taxes, and owner pay up front if you're in the standard startup aspect or growing business. All right. Another thing he talked about was prudent cost management. And so by first allocating our profits, the business owners, we're forced to examine basically any and potentially cut expenses, right? So whenever we're allocating a profit, we can figure out, okay, well, who's coming out of my back pocket that I haven't noticed over time? What subscriptions have I opted into that I forgot to cancel? This gives us an opportunity to really focus in on what do I need to cut to ensure that I meet my percentage of profit that I want to make each month. And then it helps us make sure the business runs on the remainder of what's left, what's the expenses. And so overall, this promotes a frugal and innovative cost control that I think can help lead to creative solutions. And as an example, I'll share. Started my first official business in 2012, and I think I got very creative. Some months were higher, some months were lower, and it was very roller coaster, especially in the first couple of years. And so I got very creative on how I would spend, or what charges I would have, or how much I would allocate to et cetera. And one thing I didn't do, like I said at the beginning, was allocate some money for taxes here and there. And so I would get hit with these large tax bills, and I'm like, where's the money going to come from? I ain't gonna lie to you, God came through for me and covered a lot of those things. But at the same time, I could have avoided some of those mistakes if I had an example formula like this up front. Periodic profit distributions. Again, this keeps us motivated as business owners and gives us a tangible benefit to prioritizing our profit. And so it's saying take a quarterly distribution of profits as a reward for the risk and efforts associated with running the business. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that that's one thing I didn't do early on as well. Just coming from my own example, I didn't reward myself often. It was just nose in the ground, head in the ground, figuring out what I can do to bring in more clientele, offer better customer service, etc. And I didn't really take rewards. Now, one thing we did do is I did use up that meals and entertainments because I needed that breakaway. So I did take advantage of the meals and entertainments legitimately. And so, yeah, that's where a lot of my money went to in as far as leisurely fun. But again, taking that quarterly distribution of profits will be beneficial to your mental health and just to let you know that you're doing good in your business. So like, again, a lot of times we don't take our due from our businesses. We just keep going and then we get burned out. And so I just wanted to kind of bring out a few notes that I gathered from this book. I thought it was great. Again, it's called A Profit First. Definitely please check it out. Again, Dr. Moose, I'm going to look up your question, but are there any other questions that I can take down and potentially answer? Who all in here is a book reader? Do you have any recommended books in regards to financial management or anything else?
Yes, I like to read a lot of books. One book that I've been reading to help improve efficiency is the 12-Week Work Year. It's a very simple book. It kind of boils down to make a plan and stick with it, but it really goes through line by line the issues that we all face as with procrastination. And if you kind of plan it in a way that you can't waste a day like we would normally waste a week. And the reality is most of us can't plan for 12 months in advance, but we can plan for 2 to 3 months in advance. And a lot of us, especially if you're in sales or any sort of service, there's always some sort of push, whatever your financial year ends or the year end push. And suddenly 1 month of everybody nose to the ground kind of gives you a big portion of your year end profit or sales or whatever. So they're trying to take that model and make it to shorten your year from 12 months to 3 months, and each week becomes a month. So you really increase your productivity significantly. However, I'm not gonna lie, I've adopted a little bit of it. I tried it for a week. I was extremely disappointed at how inefficient I was. So I stopped looking at it, but I'm gonna get back to it. So I just wanted to be clear and transparent.
I love that, Dr. Moses. Thank you so much for sharing 12-week work year. I like that. It can be hard. And I'm also happy to hear I hear that you tried and you failed, but you're going right back to it. I think that's paramount because a lot of these books have great information in them. And it's like, man, if I can implement this, I'll be a millionaire. So, you know, it works. It works. Hey, Dr. J.
So yes, I'm a book reader, and one of the books that I have that I really enjoyed was called Black Economics, and it talks about the solutions for economic and community empowerment. And if I pronounce his name correctly, I think the author's name is Jawanza Kunjufu. Yep, that's the one. That is the one. And so it's really good because it definitely, oh, somebody else has got it. Yep. It explores the economic conditions, you know, of the African-American community in the United States. And he does a great job of arguing about the lack of economic empowerment in the Black community. And so it's a read that I really enjoyed, and he really focused on, you know, some of the challenges that we face as a community, such as, you know, education, entrepreneurship, investments, consumerism, things like that. So that's a book that I would definitely suggest that everyone pick up and read.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you, outside of Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is one of the first books I ever read cover to cover when I was younger.
Okay, got that too. And they have a game.
And they have a game.
Exactly. And they have a game.
This book right here, what Dr. J is talking about in regards to Black economics, is very, very powerful. I wish that we can implement everything the doctor has to say, Kunjufu, everything that he has to say in this book. If we could master this, our community will be in a totally different position. And so I think what we'll do, Jay, is we'll maybe have some chamber recommended reads, and we can put together a list for entrepreneurs and people in the community to read. And I think that'll be a good deal. Any other recommended books?
I like that.
Awesome. We're gonna curate it. So I got The Profit First. I got 12-Week Work Year and Black Economics. Anybody else have any recommended reads?
I just put in the chat The Magic of Thinking Big. It's a really simple book. It's the same principle of always thinking first and then going to action. But it talks about how most people have small ideas. And if you're competing like most people, there's a lot of competition versus if you have big, bold ideas, there's a lot less competition when you're actually bold enough. But it takes a boldness and a belief in yourself. And you have to start training your mind to look at solving problems and thinking bigger. It's a very simple read. I think a lot of it is based on biblical principles, which I think is always awesome, but it's a very sound and simple book. I think it's very simply written. It can be a very quick read.
We love quick reads now, Dr. Musa. We love quick reads. So another great book, The Magic of Thinking Big. I got just a couple more that I want to highlight, just to kind of get our minds in the right place. Another book that I read that was amazing. It's called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. You may have heard of Think and Grow Rich, but Law of Success was the precursor, and it's a great book to have. And then also Creating Affluence by Deepak Chopra is another good book. But there's so many that I could name, you could name, but we want to start training that wheel in our minds, so that we can set the foundation of what we have to accomplish as business owners, community leaders, etc. Again, my review of The Profit First tonight was just to kind of get our wheels turning, and also offer up what I found useful within this particular book. I am not a financial consultant. Yes, I have my MBA, but that don't mean I am the guru. I do love financial management though, and I'm a fan of anything that is going to help me manage funds and also get in position to support myself, my family, and the community. And so this is a good book. I highly recommend getting it. Dr. Musa, I'll get you something, and I'll be honest, actually, Jay, you put something in here as a solution. I'll take what you put in here for Dr. Musa, and then I'll share it with him via email. It's quite a bit there, but thank you. All right. Any other questions in regards to this book review or anything going on within the chamber?
I didn't have a question, but I do have another book that I would like to share. And it goes back to Dave Ramsey that you spoke about earlier. And so he has a book, and I did come across my book while I was looking for this one, but it's called EntreLeadership. And I don't know how many people have heard about it, but he really talks about how being an entrepreneur and being a leader are mutually exclusive. And it's broken up into 3 parts. And it talks about, the EntreLeadership mindset, the process, and then the team. And then it goes into detail about what each one of those parts means. And so this is another book that I would definitely recommend, because it covers it covers about 20 years of just, different kinds of business wisdom that he shares when it comes to finances, leadership, the process, and all of that stuff. So
I love that book. We're on the same wavelength. So I think I'm here in book club, maybe sometime in the fall of next year, we can put together something and make sure, we want to build a team of people who are out here winning mentally, spiritually, physically, and of course, economically. And so, yeah, I think this is a good roadmap for us. Again, I do want to highlight our Big Business Mixer this Friday. I hope you all can make it. If you can't make it, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. It will be an amazing time. Our catering is by Beyond Flavor. If you've been to any of our events before, Beyond Flavor does an amazing job. The food is very tasty, and it's just going to be a good time. We have these events quarterly, so it's not all the time. It's a quarterly Big Business Mixer. Our month-to-month deals are our lunch and learns that we have, and then we got some exciting news that's going to come either at the latter end of this year or at the top of next year. And so we're excited about everything that's coming. I do want to also highlight that we are working on a new business directory within our system on our website. This new directory is very promising. It's amazing, actually, when I look through and see how things are set up and how your business will be displayed, and then the opportunities you have to kind of just build out and basically promote your business. I'm excited about it. This has been a work in progress, finding the right solution that fits our budget and also gives us what we need to promote and list your business. This has been a year in process, and so I'm hoping that we can get this thing launched within the next few weeks. There's a few things we've been working on a technological aspect of for the chamber that will help us automate a few things, and so this is just a roadmap we're on. But again, we have our monthly lunch and learns. Our next one will be in July. And let me just pull up this date here. Erica told me July 14th, strategic planning. Jay Ricks on the call. She's going to be our expert, residential expert. And she's going to talk about strategic planning. So July 14th, let's make sure we in the house.
Can I explain a little bit more, if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so most people wonder, okay, well, what is a strategic planner? What do they do? So when Xavier brought me on board, my role was to really determine or draft out a strategic plan. And so with him, I was able to come up with a 5-year plan. This year made 5 years of really looking at, okay, well, let's conduct research and analysis to see, what the market industry says, what the market says, what our competitors are doing, and then come up with our strategic plan. So from there, I worked with him and we made outlines for what our goals and our objectives were going to be for the next 5 years, and then the strategies that we were going to come up with to make sure that we accomplished each one of those goals and solidify those objectives. And so we ended up putting together a phenomenal board, and we do have, a couple of seats that are still open, but the board members that we have are very effective. They are very efficient. They are go-getters. They are experts in their fields, and they do a great job of driving those initiatives and those objectives and goals that we came up with. Another thing that I do is, really support with managing those programs. Erica does a great job of managing the events and making sure that those are handled successfully and efficiently. And then, of course, the conducting the marketing and the outreach. And so that's something that I do on my end. I meet with the board members quarterly, just to go over what their plans are for their particular committees and just see if they need any assistance from myself or from the chairman. I do have a subcommittee as well. So if anyone is interested in being a part of that, definitely reach out to me and let me know.
All right, looking forward to it, Dr. J. Yes, and I just want to highlight that Jay, it has been pivotal since the beginning of our reintroduction to the community, and since then we've been making great strides and making great connections and advocating greatly on behalf of all the Black businesses here in San Antonio, regardless if they're members or not. We've been on the mark. We've been making things happen, and that's because of a great plan of action and an execution. So thank you to all of the board directors who are on the call tonight. And if you want to be on any of the committees listed prior to, and I will bring those back up for you, because I need y'all to know we can use your support. If you find any of these areas aligning with your purpose, your mission, or your background, please reach out to any of us. Reach out to the chamber, membership committee, etc., and send in where you want to be. And if we don't have a director for that committee just yet, for wherever you want to be, what we'll do is we'll take your name, and as we fill in that vacant committee slot, we'll make sure you're ready, and we'll communicate with you along the way. Here's some others.
Quick comment. I don't know if the chamber already does this, but for example, I've used a couple of services from members of the chamber, the Skinny Chef and You Smack, and I had a great experience with both of them. Do we keep track of referrals that we have within the chamber? Is there a way to post it to kind of give a shout out for service or anything of that nature?
It's a great idea. We want to implement a points system if you, we want to, there's a two-way deal for any time there's a referral and there's a good, so I guess I want to cover one part. The new business directory will allow us to be able to rate our businesses and leave feedback about businesses that we do business with. That's one area where we can provide feedback and refer out in that direction. But also, we also want to do a point system. So whenever we go and purchase at a particular business or procure services at a particular business, or that business provides us information that we've had X, Y, and Z members come by, we will assign points to those particular members via our digital membership cards that will roll out effectively this summer. As you accrue points, we want to be able to offer you incentives for circulating the Black dollar, supporting Black businesses, etc. And so we'll have gifts and prizes based off of who's the who accrues the most points within a particular quarter. I hope that did that answer it, Dr. Musa?
Yes, that's similar to other networking organizations I've considered joining. And at the end of the day, I do like the idea of keeping money circulating and trying new services. And if we create a culture of where we use each other first, everybody's going to benefit.
Absolutely. I agree 1000% with you. Right now in our community, they say the dollar circulates 6 seconds compared to longer times and other counterparts of the community. And so 6 seconds is not a long time at all. As soon as we get the money, it goes right back out to Target or Amazon. And they're finding different ways to get in your back pocket nowadays through subscriptions, etc. And so if we can subscribe with a Black business, that'll be better. But if you can keep most of your money in your pocket and be more productive, producing, that's even better. But yeah, let's circulate the Black dollar within an hour. Thank you so much, Dr. Musa, for that. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? Lots of great things are happening. Yes, Earth Mother. Yolanda.
Yes, I just wanted to say something to everyone in the group, because I know we're all business owners and sometimes we get caught in the grind, but I just wanted to remind everyone to make sure that you're taking time to take care of yourself and make sure that you're getting your rest, eating properly, spending time with your family, and reminding yourself about why you went into business so that you can stay in business. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Can we put that on repeat? That's so real. Thank you so much. She actually inspired me to speak to the Black Wall Street as a keynote, and the message was "Until we heal," and that's after continually going through and procuring her services. It's been amazing, and so I know that that is a part of what we're doing here at the Chamber, is working on the mindset, but also making sure we're connecting that to spirituality so we can bear the storms that come. So thank you. All right. Anybody else?
One more. July 15th, my organization, we're hosting a free health fair at Christian Family Church. I'm going to put my website in the chat. So it's a way to get health screening. We're going to have the San Antonio Dental Association, Greater Hispanic Dental Association there. We're going to have an optometry van so people could get eye screening. We'll have chiropractors, naturopathic physicians, neurologists, cardiologists, and a few more services. So if you can make it, please come out. The last event we did was a pretty huge success, and it's free.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. And so Dr. Musa, if you get get a flyer, just send it to us or tag us on social media, and we'll get it reposted out.
All right, absolutely.
And congrats again. I believe it was May 26th. You all did your grand opening.
Yes, that was thanks for showing up. I appreciate the support, and that was a great turnout. Highly recommend the Chamber, and I appreciate the support that I've received.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime, we're happy to do it. And that's one thing we do want to kick off next year for our members is ribbon cutting ceremonies. Right now, we need to build out our membership committee and get more ambassadors involved. And so when we have events like that, we can show up and support and not be stream beaming it. But Dr. Musa, you guys had a great turnout out there, and you guys have a beautiful location, beautiful office set up. And so congrats to you all.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right.
I do want to say something, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So I just want to put this out there, and those of you who are on the call may know and understand this, but I'm going to say it anyway. We are still growing as a chamber, and we would really appreciate your support as much as you can, whether it's attending events, whether you want to make a donation, whether you want to share things that we're doing here at the chamber. And the reason why this is near and dear to our hearts is because we truly believe that we are stronger together. And so it's like, well, why do we support the chamber? What is the purpose of the African American Chamber? Well, there are several reasons. And one of those reasons is that, economic development, first and foremost. And Black-owned businesses have really been the backbone of the Black community for a very long time. And when these businesses are able to succeed, then it benefits the entire community. And so that's one of the reasons why we really, advocate for what we do and want to get others on board as well. And then at the same time, it's job creation. So when we're able to stand behind small Black businesses or whatever, size Black businesses, then that allows us to create jobs for us so that we in turn can feed our families and give back to our community. And then, of course, it is that networking and increased visibility so that everyone knows, about these businesses and what they have to offer to our community. But it also creates a sense of community, right? So we had Black Wall Street, back in the day, which we could very well do that again here in San Antonio. But it takes us coming together and being able to show up one another and being able to want to spend our money with each other in order for that to happen. And then, of course, advocacy is another big piece of that as well. And so the chamber, advocates on the behalf of those small businesses. So when you take the time to invest your time in us or invest your money in us or whatever it is that you choose to do, you're not just investing in the chamber, you're investing in our community as a whole. And so regardless of what that looks like, even if it's just word of mouth and saying, hey, we attended this membership meeting, they have lots of great resources and just steering individuals in our direction, that's a positive as well. So what I don't want individuals to think is that, oh, they just have business mixers or they just have these, fun events where people show up and network. If you're going to network with a purpose, really be about intentionally wanting to work with this individual and spend money with these organizations and give back to our community, because at the end of the day, that's the only way that we are going to be successful as a people, is if we take the time to invest our money in each other, just like we do at McDonald's or Saks or whatever, wherever else we choose to go. Keeping that in our community is only going to benefit us in the long run. So that's just my 2 cents.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head, Jay. Thank you so much for that. That's what we own. That's what we're building in a nutshell. And so just showing up for each other, I think that's the first mark of success. And if we can do that on an ongoing basis, man, the rest is history. And so thank you so much for that. Any ad-libs on top of that? Who's ready to win? All right. That's what we're here for. We're going to see it. We'll see you on Friday at 6 p.m. in the Art of the Beholder Art Gallery. At 6 o'clock is when we'll open the gates. But get there when you can safely, and we'll have a good time networking and building with each other. See y'all soon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for yourself.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
All right, God bless.
God bless.